Alright, so I'm gonna try and get into the same kind of groove, I guess, within X3. So here's my track. This is the exact same project. Alright, this is how you turn on lanes, right here. Once you do that, this becomes a display, I guess. Right, if I'm not mistaken. And then you add your layers by pressing on the plus sign, which is, well, it's pretty cool actually. I mean, I won't lie, this is cool. The only thing to me that is a bit upside down is that it gets messy really quick, like T2, 3, 6, 5. I mean, you should just add layers from T1 and then one under should be T2, but for some reason T1's now on the bottom. And there's no way around this. I mean, it's weird. And you actually have to drag this one up, I guess. I don't know, makes no sense for me. So if I want to essentially have the same kind of workflow, just another maybe little suggestion, that number here, you know, maybe make it a bit translucent because it's covering the timeline. And unless you just get to learn all of the numbers, you know, it can sometimes be, I mean, you won't know where you're aiming really. Anyway, let's get back to the matter at the hands. Alright, so, okay, cool. This, I'm gonna work on, let's say, this little region. I'm gonna turn the loop on. There you go. Alright, and let's just say I'm gonna do a few cuts, maybe more. Alright, and essentially what happens now is that if I want to do and move a few things of uneven regions, let's just say, you know, let's even cut that. Things are getting uneven as far as lanes of stuff. My issue becomes this. My issue becomes that I cannot overlap unless I'm on different lanes. Like, this sucks to me here. What I would want to hear, like this for example, why can't I have the trail here plus the impact here as far as my creative choice? See, if I were to, like I'm essentially, if I want to have this, I'm essentially working on this display here, this lane or this layer. This is the one, it's just one big layer essentially. It's not multiple layers that you can actually work on and switch from. You're creating one thing here instead of experimenting with many, like in Sonar 8, right? If I wanted it for organization's sake to essentially say, okay, well, okay, let's put this one here and reorganize my stuff. No, it's just one lane essentially, not multiples. It's one layer, and you cannot overlap. You cannot overlap within the one work lane. You can't. See, it deletes. It eats over the following region. And it's very restricting, extremely restricting. It's not fun at all. This is made for comping maybe one thing. You can't experiment that way. You cannot. You would need to actually do this on multiple tracks, which is a drag, because what if you want to have one effect, for example, for this particular sound, and then you want to play with the arrangements? So you have to put the effect on all of the tracks and then do your experiment. It's not as good as before. It just is not. No, and I really tried. You have to trust me on this. I tried and I read about it. It's not. It's made for something else. And the fact that we don't have the layers anymore is, to me, I mean, I will keep working on it, on 8, you know. I mean, at least for the beginning of the projects, because this is extremely restricting for my workflow. And I'm not the kind of guy who will, when I have something good going, I mean, why would I go for something that just doesn't suit me? It's not even there's a different way of doing it. The only way of doing it within X3 is to work on multiple tracks, and that means multiple plugins per track. I mean, the organization becomes crazy. Whereas before, you could have one essentially track, one volume, one gain, one insert bin here, and multiple audio tracks within this one thing, and that was brilliant. That was brilliant, and you could really like have different virtual audio tracks overlapping, and you could, you know, really go fast and mess up and have fun. And you cannot do this in X3 anymore. You can't. It's, I don't know, it's, no, sorry guys.